Hey everyone, welcome back to Easy Speak World with Maya and Ethan, your favorite place where you learn real English through real conversations. Okay, so can I just say something before we even get started today?
Go for it.
I woke up this morning, made my coffee, sat down, and just sat there, like staring at nothing. And I thought, I'm not tired. I slept. I'm just done, like completely empty. And I didn't even know how to explain it. I was like, what is this feeling? What do I call this in English?
Yeah, Maya, I know exactly what you mean. That's not tiredness. That's something else entirely.
Right. It's like your brain has just switched off. And as always, I've got Ethan here with me. And honestly, I feel like today's topic is something every single one of you watching has felt, like deeply, personally felt.
Yeah, and what's interesting is most people don't have the words for it, even in their first language. But in English, there are so many ways to express this feeling. And that's exactly what we're going to do today.
We're going to talk about mental exhaustion, what it feels like, why it happens, and most importantly, how to express it naturally in English. Real phrases, real words, stuff people actually say.
Not textbook stuff. Not I am very tired. Real English.
Ha, yes, because I am very tired does not cut it when you feel like a deflated balloon.
Deflated balloon. That's a good one.
Right? Okay, but before we dive in, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We do this every week. Real conversations, real English. And if today's topic already hits close to home for you, and I have a feeling it does, drop a comment below. Tell us, when do you feel the most mentally drained? Is it work? Is it people? Is it just life?
We genuinely love reading those. Okay, so let's actually start here. Because I think there's a difference, Maya, between being physically tired and being mentally exhausted. And I don't think people always separate the two.
Oh, absolutely. Like physical tired, that's your body. Your legs hurt, you yawned 14 times, you want to lie down.
Right.
But mental exhaustion, that's different. That's your mind that's had enough. You could be lying in bed perfectly still and still feel completely wrecked.
That word wrecked is such a good one. It means completely destroyed, like a wrecked car. When you say I'm wrecked, you mean you have absolutely nothing left.
And it's casual. People say it all the time. I'm wrecked. I'm absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, very natural, very common, especially in British and Irish English.
Okay, so here's a phrase I use a lot. I'm running on empty. Have you heard that one, Ethan?
Oh yeah, that's a brilliant one. It's a metaphor like a car. When a car is running on empty, the fuel tank has nothing left. So when you say I'm running on empty, you mean I have no energy left, but I'm still going.
Still going. That's the painful part, right? You're exhausted, but you still have things to do. You still have to show up.
Exactly. And that's what makes mental exhaustion different from just being sleepy. You can sleep and still wake up feeling hollow.
Hollow. Oh, that's such a powerful word. Say more about that.
So hollow means empty inside. Like a hollow tree, it looks fine on the outside, but there's nothing in the middle. And when people say, I feel hollow, they mean I feel emotionally or mentally empty, like something's been drained out of me.
I love that because that's so accurate. You know those days where you're smiling, doing your job, talking to people, but inside you just feel nothing?
Yeah, that's hollow. And it's actually a pretty advanced English word to use in conversation. If you say, I feel hollow today, people will really understand you. Like, they'll get it on a deep level.
Okay, wait. I want to pause here for a second. Because I think one of the reasons mental exhaustion is so hard to talk about is that sometimes it doesn't look like anything. Like from the outside, you're fine.
Right. And there's a phrase for that too, keeping it together. As in, I'm barely keeping it together right now.
Ooh, yes. Barely keeping it together. What does that mean exactly?
So keeping it together means staying calm and functioning, right? Like not falling apart. But when you say barely keeping it together, you mean I am on the edge. I am this close to losing it.
Losing it, which means?
Losing control, breaking down, crying, snapping at someone, shutting down completely. I nearly lost it in that meeting today. Like, I almost cried or almost exploded with frustration.
Oh, I have absolutely lost it in a meeting before. Not proud of it.
Same. But the point is, These are real phrases that express real feelings, and using them makes your English sound genuinely natural.
Okay, I want to do something here. Let's paint a picture, a real situation, so you can hear these phrases in context.
Let's do it.
Okay, imagine it's Thursday afternoon. You've been in back-to-back meetings since Monday. Every email you answer creates 3 more emails. Your manager asked you to just quickly do something that took 4 hours. And now it's 5 p.m. and someone asks you, "Hey, how you doing?"
The dreaded question.
Right? And what do you say? Most people say fine or good thanks. But what if you actually want to express how you feel?
So here's what you could say. Honestly, I'm completely drained. Simple, honest, and drained is such a perfect word.
Yeah, drained. Like water draining out of a bathtub. All your energy has just gone.
And you could build on it. I'm drained. I've been going nonstop all week. I need a break.
Or, I'm mentally fried. Fried.
Yes, fried. Like a fried egg. Your brain has been overcooked.
It's a bit funny, but it's so real. My brain is fried. I'm completely fried. People say this a lot, especially in American English.
And it works in casual conversations, with friends, with colleagues you're comfortable with. Not in a formal email to your boss, but in real life, absolutely.
Right, which brings me to something I think is really important. There are levels of formality here, so let's actually break that down.
Good idea.
So, informal, things you'd say to a friend, a close colleague, a family member. I'm wrecked. I'm fried. I'm running on empty. I'm completely drained. My brain has checked out.
Ooh, my brain has checked out. That's a great one. Like checking out of a hotel. You've left the building, your brain is done, it's gone home, it's not available anymore.
Sorry, my brain checked out around 3 p.m. and didn't come back.
Completely relatable.
Okay, and then more neutral expressions. Things you could say in a slightly more professional setting, but still real. I'm feeling quite overwhelmed at the moment. I've been under a lot of pressure lately. I think I'm burning out.
Burnout or burning out. This is a really important term. It's actually used in psychology and workplace conversations now. Burnout means you've been under so much stress for so long that you've completely lost your energy, your motivation, sometimes even your sense of self.
And it's different from just a bad week. Burnout builds up over time.
Right. And if you say, I'm experiencing burnout, or I think I'm heading toward burnout, people take that seriously. It signals this is real. This is a real condition. I need support.
That's such important vocabulary, especially now. I feel like burnout is something a lot of people are dealing with, especially in this era where we're always connected, always available, always on.
Yeah. There used to be a clear line between work and home. Now it's blurry for a lot of people.
Blurry. I love that. The lines are blurry. What does blurry mean here?
Blurry means not clear, like a blurry photo. You can't see it sharply. So when the lines are blurry between work and rest, it means it's hard to tell where one ends and the other begins.
Perfect. And that blurriness, that's exhausting in itself.
Incredibly. And actually, I want to add something here, because we've been talking about tiredness and exhaustion, but I think there's another layer. Sometimes mental exhaustion comes from emotional weight, not just workload.
Oh, yes. Say that again.
Sometimes you're not tired because you did too much. You're tired because you felt too much. You had a hard conversation. You helped someone through something difficult. You worried about something you couldn't control.
That's called emotional exhaustion. And there's a phrase I love for this. I've got nothing left to give.
That's deep.
Right? I've got nothing left to give. It means my emotional tank is empty. I've given so much of myself to my work, to other people, and now there's nothing left for me.
And interestingly, this is often the experience of people who care a lot. Caregivers, teachers, parents, people in helping professions. They give and give and give, and one day they wake up and they've got nothing left.
Which is why, and this is the emotional truth of today's episode, mental exhaustion is not a sign of weakness. It's often a sign that you've been strong for too long.
That's really beautifully put, Maya. And I think that's important for our listeners to hear, because sometimes people feel guilty for feeling exhausted, like they should just push through.
Right. And the English phrase push through means to continue despite difficulty. And sometimes, yes, you do push through. But sometimes what you actually need is to stop, to rest, to recover.
And to give yourself permission to do that.
Okay, I just want to check in with our listeners here because I know some of you are listening while commuting or on a break, or maybe even while you're in one of those exhausting days. And I want you to know you're doing great. The fact that you're here learning English, investing in yourself, that matters.
Absolutely. And actually, this is a perfect moment to mention something. Later in this episode, we're going to give you a set of really practical phrases you can use, like what to say when you need a mental health day, what to say when you're overwhelmed at work. We'll get to that, so stay with us.
Stay with us. Okay, so Ethan, let's talk about one more thing that I think is really fascinating. Because sometimes when people are mentally exhausted, they start to show it in really specific ways. And I think recognizing those signs and having the vocabulary for them is powerful.
What do you mean?
Like brain fog. Have you heard that term?
Oh yeah, brain fog is huge right now.
Right? So brain fog means your thinking is cloudy. You can't concentrate. You forget simple things. You read the same sentence 5 times and still don't understand it.
Yes, and it's that feeling where you walk into a room and completely forget why you went in there.
Yes, every day of my life.
But seriously, brain fog is a really recognized experience, and it often goes hand in hand with mental exhaustion. The more depleted you are, the foggier your thinking becomes.
Depleted. That's another great word. What does depleted mean?
Depleted means used up, reduced to almost nothing. If your phone battery is depleted, it's at 1%. If your energy is depleted, you have almost nothing left. It's a slightly more formal word than drained, but still used in conversation.
I'm feeling really depleted. Yeah, I can hear that.
And another sign of mental exhaustion, you become irritable.
Oh.
Irritable means easily annoyed, short-tempered. Things that normally wouldn't bother you suddenly make you want to scream.
The sound of chewing, the way someone breathes, the fact that someone said, just circling back in an email again.
Corporate language is its own kind of exhausting.
It really is. Let's touch base. Let's sync up. Moving the needle. I'm depleted just thinking about it.
But to be fair, those are useful phrases to know too, for a different episode.
True. Okay, so irritable, brain fog, feeling hollow, running on empty, these are all signs. And what do you do when you notice these signs?
Great question. Because I think one of the most important English skills here is being able to communicate your needs, like asking for help, setting a limit, saying you need a break.
Which for a lot of people is really hard.
Really hard, especially in cultures or work environments where being busy is seen as a badge of honor.
Badge of honor? What's that?
A badge of honor is something you wear proudly, like an award or a medal. But in a cultural sense, if busyness is a badge of honor, it means people brag about being busy. Oh, I only slept 4 hours. Oh, I haven't taken a day off in months. As if that's impressive.
And it's not.
It's really not. It's usually just burnout waiting to happen.
Okay, so let's do what we promised. Practical phrases, real English. What do you actually say when you're mentally exhausted and you need to communicate that?
All right. First one. If you need to tell a friend or close colleague how you're feeling. I've been feeling really burnt out lately. I think I need to recharge.
Recharge, like charging your phone, giving yourself energy again. Love that.
Second phrase. If you need to take a break or a day off. I'm feeling pretty overwhelmed right now. I think I need to take a step back.
Take a step back. That means to pause, to get some distance, to stop and breathe.
Third one. If someone asks why you seem off. I've just had a mentally exhausting week. I'm not quite myself right now.
Ooh, I'm not quite myself. That's such a natural, gentle way to say, I'm struggling, but I'm okay. Give me a moment.
And it's much better than just saying, I'm fine, when you're clearly not.
Fourth phrase, if you need to set a boundary with someone who's taking up your energy, I really want to support you, but I'm completely drained right now. Can we talk about this tomorrow?
That's beautiful, because it's honest without being harsh. You're acknowledging the other person, but also protecting yourself.
And that word, boundary, is so important. A boundary is a limit you set to protect your own energy and well-being. I need to set some boundaries. I'm working on my boundaries. This is common in conversations about mental health in English.
Very common, and completely normal to talk about. In many workplaces and personal relationships, talking about boundaries is now considered healthy and mature.
Fifth phrase, and this one's important. I think I'm heading toward burnout. I really need to slow down.
heading toward means moving in the direction of. Like you haven't arrived yet, but you're going that way. So heading toward burnout means I'm not fully burned out yet, but I can see it coming.
And that self-awareness, knowing you're heading somewhere before you get there, that's actually really powerful.
It is. Because once you're fully burned out, it's much harder to recover.
Exactly. Prevention is better than cure, and that works with mental health too.
Absolutely. And I think on the topic of phrases, there are also some beautiful expressions that capture that feeling of mental exhaustion in a more poetic way. Things that aren't just, I'm tired.
Ooh, tell me.
Like, I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world. That means I feel like all the problems and responsibilities are piling up on me.
The weight of the world on your shoulders. Yes, that's so vivid.
Or I'm stretched too thin. Like rubber that's been pulled in too many directions. It gets so thin it might snap.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm stretched too thin. It means you're doing too many things at once and you don't have enough of yourself to go around.
And then there's, I feel like I'm just going through the motions.
What does that mean?
Going through the motions means doing the actions, but without feeling or presence. Like you're at work, you're typing, you're in the meeting, you're smiling, but inside you're not really there. You're just performing.
That's heartbreaking and so real.
It is. And it's a really important phrase to know because it captures that specific kind of exhaustion where you've lost connection, not just to your work, but to yourself.
Yeah. I think when you're going through the motions, that's a signal that you really need to rest and reconnect.
Reconnect, yeah. With what matters, with what gives you energy.
Okay, I want to ask our listeners something because I think everyone here has a slightly different experience, and I'd love to know what gives you energy. Like when you're drained, what helps you recharge?
That's a great question for the comments.
Right? Leave it below. Seriously, we read every comment. And I think hearing what works for other people can be really helpful.
It creates a community around real conversations, which is kind of the whole point of what we do here.
Exactly. Okay, Ethan, I want to do one more thing before we wrap up, because I think it's important to also talk about asking for help. Like, how do you tell someone you're struggling in English in a natural way?
That's so important, because I think a lot of people feel like they can't say they're struggling, especially in a professional context.
Right. There's this fear that people will think less of you or that you'll seem weak.
But vulnerability, showing that you're human, that you have limits, that's actually a sign of strength. And in English, there are gentle, honest ways to express it.
Give us some examples.
Okay, if you're talking to a manager or someone senior, I want to be transparent. I've been feeling quite overwhelmed lately, and I want to make sure I'm doing my best work. Can we talk about prioritizing my tasks?
That's so good. You're not complaining. You're being professional and solution-oriented.
Right. And be transparent means to be open and honest. It's a great phrase for professional communication.
If you're talking to a friend, honestly, I've been really struggling lately. I don't even know how to explain it, but I feel like I have nothing left.
That's so real. And most friends, good ones, will respond to that with understanding.
And sometimes you don't even need to explain everything. You just need someone to say, I hear you.
I hear you is one of the most powerful phrases in English. It doesn't mean I have a solution. It means I'm listening. I see you. You're not alone.
I love that. And the opposite, when someone doesn't feel heard, we often say, I feel invisible, or I feel like nobody understands.
Both really valid, really human feelings. And both things that happen more often when people are mentally exhausted, because exhaustion makes everything feel more isolating.
Isolating, meaning making you feel alone, cut off, like an island.
Exactly. And that isolation often makes the exhaustion worse.
It's a cycle, isn't it? You're tired, so do you pull away. You pull away, so you feel alone. You feel alone, so you feel worse.
Yeah, and breaking that cycle, even just by talking to someone, even just by naming how you feel, can actually help.
Which is part of why we made this episode. Because having the language to name something, in any language, but especially in English for our listeners, that's the first step to addressing it.
Naming gives you power over the feeling. Instead of just feeling awful and not knowing why, you can say, I'm burnt out. I'm running on empty. I need to recharge. And suddenly it becomes something you can work with.
Okay, I think we should start to wrap up, but I want to do a quick, beautiful recap of all the vocabulary we covered today, because there's been a lot of good stuff.
Let's do it.
All right, running on empty, no energy left, but still going.
Wrecked, completely destroyed, nothing left.
Hollow, feeling empty inside.
Drained, all your energy has been used up.
Fried, or my brain is fried. Overloaded and exhausted, especially your mind.
Burnt out or burnout, long-term exhaustion from too much stress.
Brain fog, unclear thinking, difficulty concentrating.
Depleted, reduced to almost nothing, used up.
Stretched too thin, doing too many things, not enough of yourself to go around.
Going through the motions, doing things without presence or feeling.
Barely keeping it together, on the edge of losing control.
I've got nothing left to give, emotionally empty.
Recharge, to give yourself energy again.
Take a step back, to pause, get distance, breathe.
I'm not quite myself. I'm struggling, but I'm okay. Give me time.
Set boundaries, to put limits in place to protect your energy.
And my personal favorite, I hear you. I'm listening, you're not alone.
Brilliant list.
Right? Okay, so emotional takeaway from today, and I really want you to sit with this.
Go on.
Mental exhaustion is real. It doesn't always look like anything from the outside. You can be functioning, smiling, showing up, and still be completely hollowed out. And that's okay. That's human. But you deserve to name it. You deserve to say it. You deserve to rest.
And practically speaking, you now have the English to do that. You can tell someone, I'm burnt out. You can say, I need to recharge. You can set a boundary, ask for help, express how you're really feeling. That's real English skill, and it matters.
It really does, because language connects us. And when you can say exactly what you feel, in English, clearly, naturally, you're not just learning a language, you're building real connection.
Well said.
Okay, before we go, if this episode helped you, if you felt seen, if you learned something, please give us a like. It genuinely helps more people find us. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. We're here every week having conversations just like this one.
And leave us a comment. We asked earlier, but genuinely, how do you feel most mentally exhausted? Is it work, people, the news, life? Tell us.
And if you want to share which phrase from today was your favorite, drop it below. I'll be reading every single one.
Take care of yourselves this week, everyone.
Rest when you need to. Recharge. Set your boundaries. And remember, you don't always have to push through. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye, everyone. Take care.